So it is Friday, April 16th, and I'm supposed to be in St. Martin right now. I didn't miss my flight, but I was denied boarding. And that's the first time I've been denied boarding to a flight in my life, and I've never missed a flight in my life. I was supposed to have permission to enter St. Martin. It's a COVID thing, and it's a new thing that they started doing 2 weeks ago. So I wasn't aware of that. I should have made myself aware of it. It's my fault. When you book your flight, and at every step of the way, they kind of continually remind you that you need to have a COVID test. You need to have a negative COVID test within 72 hours of flying. They keep reminding you of that fact. They say you'll be denied boarding if you don't have this. So it kind of gives you the impression that that is the main thing that you need. And then when you show up, they ask you for an additional document that's never been mentioned anywhere else before. And that is something you have to apply to the St. Martin government for. And they send you a response. I emailed them this morning at 5 a.m. when I was at the airport. They replied with my approval at 7:30 a.m. and my flight was at 6:30, so not their fault, but a little bit frustrating, of course. And the funny thing is that it was a connecting flight to Atlanta. It was a stopover in Atlanta, real quick one, and then off to St. Martin. But because my final destination is St. Martin, they won't let me board the initial flight. So I tried to argue with them and kind of say, hey, can you put me on the flight to Atlanta? And by the time I get to Atlanta, maybe I'll have the approval. And I would have, but they're not allowed to. And their name is attached to my acceptance of boarding, so that if I run into an issue down the line in St. Martin and I show up without having my documentation, that agent would get in trouble. So totally understandable, they're just following procedure. It's just a little bit unfortunate that the communication was not done very well. It would have been nice if they told me about the requirement for that other document to get into St. Martin. So what I did was I booked another flight now on Sunday. So it's Friday now. I gotta wait 2 more days and then I fly out on Sunday. And I fly back on Thursday when I was going to be flying back on the Monday coming up. So I'm just kind of moving my trip a little bit down a few days. The survey is happening today regardless. I didn't want to hold it up. My Airbnb host was kind enough to allow me to move the dates without any penalty. Amazing. And another thing, I called into Delta to book that flight, and the flight that I booked now, Sunday to Thursday, was $2,500. And the initial flight that I missed today was $700 for the same exact flight, different days. And the guy at Delta on the phone that I spoke with, his name was Jose. He was kind enough to credit the entire value of my $700 flight towards the $2,500 flight, making it only a $1,600 mistake, not a $2,500 mistake. He didn't have to do that. I purchased the economy ticket that doesn't allow you to do those changes. So a very nice man at Delta named Jose saved me $700. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm a little bit delayed now in my plans, but not by more than a few days, luckily. So I'm really, really happy about that. It could be much worse. I was pretty upset this morning at the airport. On the inside, maintained my composure, but yeah, I think it's gonna be okay, and I'll be flying down on Sunday. So, till then. Well, here I'm at the airport. I'm getting a rapid test, even though I got a PCR test this morning, because I'm not gonna leave it up to chance. So, fingers crossed. I'll be back here tomorrow for my flight tomorrow morning, and I hope that's the end of it. can't believe I made it. A little bit more humid. Here, let me follow you. You can point him out. Yeah. Okay, so I'm here. I have a rental car. I just went and got groceries. How about that? So yeah, so I'm actually here in St. Martin, driving around a rental car. Took me no time to get the car rental. It's right down the street from my Airbnb. I'm right now driving by this beach that's at the end of the runway here. I could go in the water right there. Looks amazing. It's right there. Ridiculous. And the funny thing about traveling, moving to another country, not that I've moved yet, but changing your life, is that you can just do it. And there really isn't that much to it logistically. It's a lot more of just our own barriers that we put up and whatnot. And I haven't eaten lunch yet, so I'm gonna eat some chips and drink some beer. Should be a good lunch. And then I'm going to meet the selling yacht broker. And man, I'm at a loss for words. I'm pretty tired. I've been traveling all day. I can't believe that I actually got here. After missing my flight or being denied boarding the first time 2 days ago, you know, if I didn't get in today, I was gonna just give up on it and say, you know what, I'll buy the boat. I'm sure it'll be great and I'll come down another time. Tomorrow I'm going to go and test drive the boat. So that should be fun. So here we are, driving along. And I'm driving to go meet up with the yacht broker and the owner to test drive the boat. So I haven't seen it yet in person, I haven't been on it yet. Don't really expect there to be anything wrong with it that I'm not aware of, anything gravely wrong with it, but you know, seeing is believing, and I'm not gonna buy a boat this big, this expensive without looking at it first. So off we go. She's a beaut. I'm great. Couldn't be better. Cockpit, there's the dual steering wheels, which is really great, and we've got a chart plotter and some instruments down. So you've got this huge seating area and these huge winches here. This is a hatch for one of the bedrooms. Let's go up to the forward deck here. More hatches. There's the life raft facing back into the cockpit. Here's the mast and the standing rigging. Here's the view back from the front. And here we have the main living area and kitchen or galley, stove, 2 fridges. We see the chart plotting table and the main seating area, kitchen table. And here's the forward portside bedroom. It's kind of a double bed. And here is forward portside bathroom with a little hatch up top. And here's the bed at the back. So, ow, didn't fit through the door too well there. It's really wide. This is like amazing. And there's a lot more room back here as well.
I always do wide on Insta. I don't even.
Oh, yeah?
I don't let Insta tell me what I'm doing.
You know what? I like your attitude. That's good.
Look at this water. It's bananas.
went and saw the boat, and it's pretty incredible. It's pretty much everything I hoped it would be. It's huge. It's kind of scary, but I think I'm ready for it. The thing about a boat of that size is that the loads on it, from the sails, on the sheets, on the lines, are so much greater than on a smaller boat like my 27 footer. So I'm going from a 27 footer to a 50-foot boat, almost double in size. It's going to be, you know, 4 times the loads on everything. So it's pretty crazy. I gotta say I'm a little bit intimidated for sure. It's a little bit more than I thought it would be. That's okay. I'd rather have a boat that's big enough than one that I need to upgrade in a year, 2 years time after I outgrow it. Anything under 50 feet just isn't quite big enough as far as the floor space and the layout goes. So pretty excited, but here we are. It's beautiful. Just got some lunch, and it's my rental car right there. And here's the bay where all the boats are, and my future boat is out there somewhere. I still can't even believe this is real. It doesn't feel real. I can't believe I'm in the Caribbean. I haven't flown anywhere for 2 years. I haven't been out of Canada for I don't even know how long, probably the same amount of time. So it's quite strange. So yeah, the boat is looking good and it's close to a done deal. People keep asking me if it's a done deal, but the thing is, when I send the money, then I own the boat. And when I own the boat, I have to have it insured. And boat insurance is actually a huge pain. There's only a couple brokerages in the world, a few of them in the world, really, although different insurance entities all kind of connect to these brokerages, and they're very picky about their requirements. You can't have your boat in what's called the hurricane box during hurricane season, and technically that starts June 1st, even though in reality there aren't really going to be any hurricanes in June, although it's statistically possible. So I contacted one insurance company and they already told me no, because I don't have 2 years experience on the boat. So if every insurance company is like that, no one can ever own a boat, because no one can ever start out for the first 2 years. So you're magically supposed to get 2 years experience having insurance that no one will give you insurance for. So anyways, I'm moving on to the next insurance company and gonna have to work through that. So that's kind of the main bottleneck now. There's always something, but that's the main bottleneck, is getting insurance lined up. Once that's lined up, I send the money, and once the money goes through, then I own the boat. So long story short, I'm flying back to Toronto now, and I'm gonna be back there for about a month just to wrap up my life. Look at this beautiful beach, by the way. This is Maho Beach, where the planes all kind of come in for a landing right overhead. But anyways, so that's the bottleneck. I go home, I've got 2 weeks in quarantine, and then I've got about 3 to 4 weeks, 3.5 weeks to wrap up my life, sell everything, give things away, put things in storage, and clear out of my apartment, and that's it. The other thing is, I'm supposed to have booked a 3-day government mandated hotel for quarantining, and wouldn't you know it, there's none available except for a really expensive one. They're all really expensive. It's like minimum $300 a night, and the only one available is $400 a night. And I didn't want to book it until I got my negative COVID test, which is a requirement to fly out of here, because if I got a positive test, then I wouldn't be able to get a refund on my, you know, $1,000 3-night hotel stay. So now, since I'm trying to book it last minute, I can't book. So I'm just going to be showing up at home at Pearson International Airport just saying, hey guys, I wasn't able to book a hotel. So from what I understand, I'm going to be thrown in some kind of government facility, almost like a prison, and they're probably going to give me a hard time about that. I tried.
Que no te encuentro, solito por las calles. No me siento enamorado, que no me siento ay triste y solo. Yo vi toda cada día que te quiero más. Cada día que te quiero más. Cada día que te quiero más.
So here we are at the lovely Hilton, Mississauga. It's going to be my home for the next 3 days while I quarantine for $300 a night. Chump change. Okay, so it's 12:30 in the morning and I'm checked into my hotel here at the Hilton. Okay, so let's try this again. I tried to make a video last night and I was too tired. So this is my quarantine hotel and I've got to be here for 3 days until I get my COVID result. So if I get it before the 3 days, I can leave. But you have to pay for the 3 days. It's $300 a night, just shy of $300 a night. It includes your meals. I'm going to stay the full 3 days to get my 3 meals worth. Man, am I glad to be back in Canada. It's, you know, the weather is, it's cold here, but it's home. And traveling during a pandemic, traveling with all the restrictions right now is so stressful. I was denied boarding because I didn't have the authorization to enter St. Martin. Thankfully nothing like that happened on the way back, but I was pretty nervous about it. So I'm finally back, which is really great. So I'm gonna be here for another couple days and then I go home and I have to quarantine for the remainder of a 14-day quarantine since arriving. So that's a bit of a drag, but I do have a lot of stuff at home that I need to pack up, a lot of research that I need to do, a lot that I can do without leaving the house. The sailboat deal is still not a done deal because I have to wire the money for it to be a done deal. And in order for me to wire the money, I need to make sure that I have insurance set up. And that is difficult to get. So it's Friday today. I just kind of had my first day back at work. And when I get a second to catch my breath, I'm going to be doing some research on trying to find an insurance company that will insure me for a reasonable rate so that I can actually complete the purchase and keep this thing moving. Stay tuned as I continue on with my adventure of packing up my life in Canada and getting out of my apartment. Stay tuned and we'll see how it goes. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and the notification buttons. I would really appreciate it. And stay tuned for episode 3 where I have 1 month to pack up my life and get out.